Well, hello there. I procrastinated this video way too much and I forgot to sync the audio, so... Anyway, so like the title says, today we are going to be discussing the top 5 best sports cars for under 250k. So in order to make this list, the car has to make more than 110 kilowatts. Drive orientation doesn't matter whether it's rear-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, all-wheel drive. Number of seats doesn't matter whether it's 2-seater or 5. It has to have a whole lot of mods available because sports car. It has to have a following because like part of what makes owning a sports car cool is the culture and the people around it. It has to be able to be daily driven, it has to be practical. So coming in at number 5 is the Fiesta ST Mach 7. I'm pretty sure you can get Mach 6s and previous versions under the price as well, but I'm talking specifically about the Mach 7, and the reason I'm doing this one is because my brother has one, and obviously because he has one I've been exposed to a whole lot of them, and I gotta tell you, they're fun as hell. You can find them for under 250k all day long. It is front wheel drive, but it honestly feels like you're piloting a puppy. Like at the moment you're behind the wheel, just wants to go, just wants to go. I've never actually piloted a puppy before. I just assume that that is what a piloted puppy would feel like. It's got 134 kilowatts, which is produced by its 1.6 liter 4-cylinder turbo engine. 0 to 100 second time is apparently about 6.9 seconds, and its top speed is about 220 kilometers an hour. It has a massive amount of followers. I cannot tell you how many car meets I've been to where there's Fiesta ST, Fiesta ST, Fiesta ST, 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 ST. And so for that, I think there must be some wisdom behind getting one. There is an insane amount of parts available for the car, and they can make them quite insane. I'll try and get it. I'm not sure if I can, but there's a video of an ST actually beating an Audi R8 in a drag race. Now, the Audi R8 was the V8, the 4.2 liter V8, and it had that manual, the clicky-clacky one, I forgot what it's called. It does have two very, very heavy doors, and that means whoever's sitting in the back is going to be doing the whole hop in, hop out, which isn't really all that fun, especially when you're on an incline and the door is like swinging back to whack you in the face. And the ride can get a bit hard here and there. The suspension is very race orientated, so South Africa, potholes, It's got almost every creature comfort you can really think of, except for maybe cameras and heated seats. You can also switch off the traction control. Why you'd want to do that? Well, why wouldn't you, honestly? Overall, the car looks fantastic. It sounds insane. It's insanely fun to drive. The only kind of issue I have with it is that resonator thingy that it has, which means that the sound that you're hearing in the cabin isn't actually just the sound of the engine and the exhaust, which kind of sucks. But for the most part, I can't really fault the car too much. Except for maybe that one line that I keep hearing, "It's not about the power, bro. It's about the driving experience." On to the second car on this list, which is actually 3 cars. Math. It's the Volkswagen GTI Mach 6, as well as the Edition 35, and sometimes you can actually find the Mach 6R, which is honestly one of the best looking VWs I've ever seen. And of course you can find them under 250k all day long, and I mean both the GTI and the 35 edition. There's a whole host of them. It's quite insane. Now the 35 and the GTI are both front wheel drive, but the road holding is insane. I have personally never driven one, but being in a few, and they really hold. It's a really fun car to drive. It's light and it's nimble and it just wants to run around. It's just like the ST, but not. I think the ST is more, if that makes sense. Okay, so down to the specs. The GTI, again, 4-wheel drive. It's got a 2-liter 4-cylinder turbo engine. Makes 155 kilowatts. 0 to 100 is about 6.9 seconds as well. And it's got a top speed of 238 kilometers an hour. So it moves. Next up is the Edition 35. English, pardon. Next up is the Edition 35, also front-wheel drive. The wheels on the 35 are just... Again, also sporting a 2-liter 4-cylinder turbo engine. It makes 173 kilowatts. 0 to 100 time is 6.6 seconds, and it's got a top speed of 247 kilometers an hour. And then last of all is the R Mach 6, which are quite rare. I don't even know if you can find any now. When I first looked, when I was compiling the list in the beginning, I was like maybe 6 that I found. I only found 2 or 3 yesterday, so you just have to get lucky with this one. So this one is the only one that's not 4-wheel drive, it's all-wheel drive. Also sporting the 2-liter 4-cylinder turbo engine. However, this one makes a staggering 188 kilowatts, which is no slouch for a car at this price point. 0 to 100 time is 5.5 seconds, which is much faster than the ST, the GTI, and the 35. And it's got a top speed of 250 kilometers an hour, I think. Yes. Okay, so if you're wondering why the lighting looks a bit different and why I'm no longer wearing a beanie, it's because I filmed the entire second part of the video, and when I went to switch off the recording, it said that there's no card in camera. So then I refilmed it, and then I forgot to press the record button. So take 3! So it's no surprise that Volkswagen has a massive following here in South Africa. I'd almost say that the following is akin to a cult. I mean, the moment you get a GTI, you have to change your status to vrpa. 90% of your camera roll has to then be pictures of your cars, and the other 10% is probably a mixture of selfies and motivational quotes. And obviously, last but not least, you have to sacrifice your firstborn to the ranks of the German army. Mods for the GTI 35 and R are insanely easily available, and I've seen some real monsters out on the road. I mean, you hear stories of R's beating McLarens, and GTI is just absolutely shredding rubber. I mean, stories are endless. The car itself, while I've never driven it, it seems pretty comfortable. It's no slouch. It sounds great, and the only real reason why you wouldn't want to get one is just because of the popularity here in South Africa. I mean, even James May once said it's the only car that should ever exist. Okay, third on the list we have the Opel Astra and Opel Corsa OPC. You can find the Opel Corsa for under 250k extremely easy all day. However, the Astra on the other hand is very much like my steaks from Spur, a little more rare. Anyway, let's get on to the specs. The Astra is forward-wheel drive, and it's got a 2-litre turbo engine, 4 cylinders if I'm not mistaken. It makes 206 kilowatts. Its 0 to 100 time is 6.2 seconds, and it's got a top speed of 250 kilometers an hour. And the Corsa as well, 400 wheel drive, nice buddy. Corsa is as well forward wheel drive. Solid. It's got a 1.6 litre turbo engine, again 4 cylinders. It makes 141 kilowatts. Its 0 to 100 time is 7.2 seconds, and its top speed is 225 kilometers an hour. I'll be honest, I don't really know much about these cars. I know that there's a whole host of mods available for them overseas though. I'm pretty sure you can get them here in South Africa. I just haven't seen too many modified OPCs. However, the ones that you see in the UK and Australia, they're quite the monsters. The cars look fantastic, especially that Astra is thick as hell. They have a real presence on the road, and yeah, they just seem like great cars overall. If you have one, or you know anybody who has one, let me know, because I'd really like to hear what it sounds like, how it drives. How did I even make this list? Anyway, on to the fourth one, we have the BMW M135i. Now, I am not talking about the hatchback, I'm talking about the little sporty sedan. Now, there's a good amount of them for under 250k, and they tend to be in really good condition. It is fun as hell to drive, I think. I was always really the passenger. One of my good friends has one, but it sounds absolutely insane. Now, the car is rear-wheel drive. It's the first rear-wheel drive car on the list. And the 08 and 09 models had a twin-turbo 3-litre inline 6 engine, which is a lot of engine. The models after 08 and 09 had the 3-litre inline 6, but with a single turbo, which is still a lot of engine. Supra. It makes 225 kilowatts. Its 0 to 100 time is the quickest on this list at 5.3 seconds, and it has top speed of 250 kilometers an hour. Now, when you have that much engine, it's basically like a mini bomb inside your bonnet. You can squeeze an insane amount of power out of it. My friend's is currently running at about 300 kilowatts, which is it's insane. It's so much fun. Till today, I have never actually been in a car, except for maybe the Jet Datsun that I did a video with a while back, that spools and boosts as hard as the M135i. It is insane. You almost forget to breathe at some points. It's extremely practical and it looks great. I mean, like I said, my friend has one and he dailies it. He takes it to campus, he's taken me and a couple of friends here and there. I mean, it works. Do I want one? No. Last on the list, we have the Nissan 350 and 370Z. Now, I included both the 350 and the 370. The 350 you can find under 250k all day, extremely easily. The 370Z you can find a few, but not a lot. These cars are iconic. I mean, the 350Z, Rachel from Underground 2, DK from Tokyo Drift. If you guys have ever seen the show Hyperdrive on Netflix, you'll know that there was a lady, whose name I forgot, who was using a stock 350Z. When I say stock, it's more like stock because it had a single exit exhaust, which I'm pretty sure is a Tomei exhaust, and it had a I assume it had a limited slip differential. It's easily the cheapest cars on this list with the most amount of power, and again, icons. Onto the specs, we have the 350Z. Now the 350Z had two engines. The 350Z was rear-wheel drive, and the original models had the VQ35DE, which is a 3.5-liter V6. It was making 206 kilowatts. It had a 0 to 100 time of 6.7 seconds, and it had a top speed of 250 kilometers an hour. However, the 2007 and 2008 models had the VQ35HR instead of the DE, which is again a 3.5-liter V6, but this time it was making 228 kilowatts. The 0 to 100 time went down to 6 seconds, and the top speed remained the same at 250 kilometers an hour. And then obviously we go into the 370Z, rear-wheel drive as well, but it had a 3.7-liter V6 and made 245 kilowatts. 0 to 100 time is 5.6 seconds, and the top speed again is 250 kilometers an hour. These cars are insane. I mean, I really don't have to tell you that they have a lot of following. I mean, internationally, these cars are extremely well recognized. I cannot think of a single car guy who doesn't know about the 350 or 370Z. Why am I saying Z? It's Z. I'm South African, maybe. The only real setbacks that I can really think of are in terms of practicality. Now, the one is that there's an insane amount of cabin noise. I know that people who own them tend to complain about the cabin noise. You really hear the engine. And if you're doing any modifications to your exhaust, like test pipes or just doing a full exhaust system, whatever it is, you're really going to hear that racket. However, Nissan knew this, and so they've given everyone a Bose sound system, which is absolutely kick-ass. It's solid. And the last one is the boot. The car is really low-slung and sporty shaped, and so the boot is really long and low, which means you can't really stack things up, but you can maybe do it on the side. But other than that, I mean, there's no real reason not to get one. I mean, they look absolutely insane. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. But yeah, that's the end of the list. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know which car you'd like to have. Personally, I'd definitely go with the 370Z. And let me know if you agree with the list, which ones you'd like to keep on, which ones you'd remove. Who knows, maybe if we get enough suggestions, we can make a part 2. Owning cars in South Africa are flipping expensive, man. You spend so much to have it stolen. You should all just use Uber. But then you get murdered. It's not a bad deal, actually. Now I gotta think of jokes, but I don't got jokes. The only jokes I got is myself, haha.